Friends, before starting today's horror story, I would like to tell you a very interesting stat. 80% of our viewers who watch our stories haven't subscribed to our channel. And if you are one of them, you have to do a small task where you have to click to the subscribe button and also press the bell icon so that you are the first to get the notification as soon as our video arrives. The moment they opened the door, a terrible stench came out. On the bed lay two rotting bodies. Covering their mouths, they stepped closer. Emily saw that one of the bodies was wearing the same locket her grandma always wore. She froze. These were the dead bodies of their real grandparents. But if these were their real grandparents lying dead, then who were the ones they had been living with? Before they could process it, the sound of children's voices echoed through the room. Both of them shivered. Where was it coming from? They searched around, and Jake accidentally bumped into an old bookshelf, which creaked open like a secret door. Behind it was a hidden room, completely dark. Just then, the voices called their names from inside. Terrified but curious, the siblings stepped in. At first they saw nothing, but then a faint white glow appeared across the room. The voices grew louder, crying like many children in pain, trying to warn them. When they reached the other side, their blood ran cold. In the center was a pile of skulls. Beside it was a ritual fire pit with strange objects, and the walls were covered in disturbing drawings of monsters with sharp claws and long teeth. It was clear black magic had been performed here. Suddenly, the children's voices turned into screams, all shouting the same thing. "Run away!" Emily and Jake bolted out of the secret room, their hearts racing. By now the sun had almost set, and the farmhouse was covered in darkness. The siblings finally realized the horrifying truth. The people living with them were not their grandparents at all, but something dangerous. They decided to run away before Grandma and Grandpa returned. Rushing down the stairs, they tried the front door, but strangely it would not open no matter how hard they pulled. Panicked, they turned toward the back gate. As they hurried past the kitchen, they heard strange chewing sounds. When they peeked inside, their blood froze. Under the sink, crouched on the floor, were the two people who looked like their grandparents. They were hunched like animals, devouring something from a red pot. Their faces were smeared with blood, their mouths filled with sharp yellow teeth, and their fingers had long black claws, exactly like the creatures drawn in the secret room. Growling and snarling like beasts, they looked terrifying. Suddenly, the grandmother's head snapped toward the children. Her eyes were white and empty, just dark pits where pupils should be, and she let out a monstrous sound that shook them to their core. Emily and Jake didn't wait another second. They ran as fast as they could and somehow escaped through the back door. Outside, the garden swing rocked wildly in the bloody-smelling air. They didn't look back, but they knew those creatures were chasing them. Behind them came the sound of claws scraping and deep growls growing louder and louder. Both siblings were running blindly into the forest, not knowing where to go, only that they had to get far, far away. Finally, after what felt like forever, they saw a small temple and rushed inside without turning back. Shaking and crying, Emily and Jake hugged each other tightly. In one corner sat an old priest. Seeing their terrified faces, he came closer and asked what they were doing alone in the forest at night. Before they could answer, the growls came again, this time from outside the temple. The priest didn't panic. He closed the heavy wooden doors and led the children into an inner room. Picking up his landline phone, He quickly called the police and then returned to the children. He calmly told them they were safe inside the temple and asked what had happened. Emily was too scared to speak, so Jake explained everything through tears. The priest listened carefully and then, with a serious expression, revealed the truth. Those creatures were not their grandparents. They were Margaret and Samuel, a couple who had lived years ago in a nearby village. They always wanted children, but Margaret could never have one. When doctors couldn't help, they turned to black magic. The villagers last saw them performing strange rituals in this very forest, and after that, they disappeared. Years later, they returned in a horrifying new form, neither fully human, nor animal, nor alive, nor dead. They had the power to take on the appearance of anyone, but what they loved most were children. They would kill families, take their place, and live with the children as if they were their parents or grandparents. When the children grew suspicious or tried to run, they killed them and kept their heads as trophies. Emily and Jake realized with horror that the pile of skulls they had seen belonged to all those murdered victims. Tears streamed down their faces as the truth sank in. Just then, their eyes moved to the window behind the priest. Standing outside were the same two monsters. Their sharp teeth gleamed, their claws scratched against the glass, and their faces were dripping with blood as they growled furiously. The priest remained calm. He told the children not to worry because the temple was protected with powerful sacred chants, and the creatures could not enter. He assured them that the police were already on their way. Still, the growling outside grew louder and louder, filling the air with fear. But suddenly, just before the sound of sirens, the noise stopped. When the police finally arrived, the monsters were gone, having retreated back into the dark forest. The officers took Emily and Jake back to the farmhouse, where they discovered several dead bodies and piles of bones. The children were sent immediately to the hospital, and their parents were called. Though doctors said they were not physically hurt, the trauma of what they had gone through left them deeply shaken. That night, Emily and Jake narrowly escaped the clutches of those half-dead creatures. But the horror was far from over, for who could know where Margaret and Samuel had gone next? Perhaps they had already taken on a new disguise, entered another family's home, and started living with innocent children who believed they were safe. And just like before, the monsters would wait patiently until the right time came to kill again. If you like the story, then do subscribe to our channel, Bloody Monday, and keep watching for more such spine-chilling horror videos. Please do share the videos with your friends and family so that we could get motivation for uploading more of such spooky videos. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on any of our eerie, heart-pounding videos. Keep watching and stay brave.